there storytellers, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be short and simple because I am gearing up to hopefully do Vlogoween, and you might not know what Vlogoween is because it's more popular on other YouTube channels, sort of the lifestyle ones more specifically, but Vlogoween is basically when you post a video every day of October the 1st through Halloween, hence Vlogoween. But I am gearing up towards that, so I'm trying to focus my creative juices on those videos. Not that I want to go slacking off, so that is why today's video is going to be short and sweet. You see it in the title. Without any further ado, we are going to get into my favorite book covers. The following, in no particular order, are book covers that I was drawn to for their aesthetics. We have The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I really liked the simplicity of this cover with the striking red spine. I think, like, the message of the story is you're supposed to be listening and not focusing on all the superfluous details. You should just be focusing on the core message. So I like that cover. I thought it conveyed that part of the story very well. Next, we have Sword in the Stars by Amy Rose Capetta and Corey McCarthy. This is a take on Arthurian legend, in case you couldn't tell. I really appreciate the gold and silver and purple. I think it's really regal and striking, but I also think it helps capture the fact that this is Arthurian legend in space. Next, we have Mirage by Samaya Dowd, and I don't think this is the original aesthetic. This is the Owl Crate exclusive, but it is black and gray and gold, and I think that just makes it even more intense and striking. But I like that it's sort of focused on a mirage-y type sort of pattern rather than character cover. Next, we have The Astonishing Color of After by Emily XR Pan, and I just really find the ombre of red to purple with the flying crane going across it to be really simple yet striking cover. I know this is a story I believe about grief. I haven't read it yet, but I know it does deal with sort of heavy, intense topics, and I think the simplicity of the cover helps lend to the seriousness of the tone rather than making it feel lighthearted and whimsical. We have Kind of a Big Deal by Shannon Hale, and this follows the main character as she sort of literally gets sucked into stories. So I like the fact that it has sort of all her interests sort of laid out around her on her bed. I think we've all sort of been in that kind of mood. So I think it's a great cover for a contemporary. It's sort of dynamic and fun. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This has Evelyn on the cover in her dramatic green Hollywood-esque dress because she is an ex-Hollywood starlet, so I think the cover fits that vibe perfectly. Next, we have Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. This follows the Shadow Game trilogy, and it basically takes place in a sort of a fantasy-esque Atlantic City / Las Vegas, hence the card theme on the front, but I think the red and black cover of the original really captures that spirit of gambling that the story really embraces. We have All the Invisible Things by Orla Collins. I've mentioned this book in a past video, and I think I did mention that I specifically bought the UK edition so that I could have this wonderful rainbow cover. We have The Dark Tide by Alicia Jasinska, and I know that a flood is a main part of the plot in this story. That's about it, other than it's a fantasy, I believe, but I just love this black sort of minimalistic night sky with red moon phases and a gold wave. I just think it's really striking. Following that is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This follows a fictional band that was popular in the 70s and their story thereafter and following their breakup, mainly focused on the main singer, Daisy Jones, but I think this cover perfectly captures that sort of 70s aesthetic. Next, we have Children of Blood and Bone and Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi, and These are both just equally gorgeous and striking fantasy covers. I don't think I've ever seen one quite like this before, which is why they both stood out to me so much and I couldn't pick just one. Legendborn by Tracy Dion is my newest addition to my library, and I've shown you it on Instagram quite recently. I just love how powerful and mystical the main character looks on this cover. I think the fact that it's two different colors might hint to the fact that she has a couple different abilities, but this is also a retelling of Arthurian legend, so I can't wait to get to this one next. Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare has Cordelia Carstairs on the cover with her gorgeous auburn hair and the fall leaf vibes with this sort of antique gray gold cover. It's really striking and very pretty. Supernova by Marissa Meyer is the third in the Renegades trilogy, and in case you can't tell from the cover, but I think you kind of can, it is a story about superheroes and super villains, and I thought just this sort of lone stander with this sort of looming robot while there's sort of destruction all around sort of really embodies that sort of superhero, supervillain movie poster kind of vibe, so I thought it fit the vibes of that story perfectly. The Black Kids by Christina Hammonds Reed follows a young black girl in 1992 Los Angeles right after the murder of Rodney King and the riots that took place at that time. It is a contemporary novel. I have not read it yet, but this just cover with the main character with the sort of iconic LA palm trees on fire in her glasses is just everything. This might be my favorite contemporary cover I have ever seen, but it's definitely, I think, the favorite in my collection of contemporary novels because it is just, it's everything. So the last favorite cover that I have for you guys today is sort of an out-of-the-box option. I thought I'd end on a sort of different note rather than fiction, and I'd go with a semi-non-fiction book, and it is Wonder Book by Jeff Vandermeer. This is a creative, imaginative fiction writing guide, but the cover just sort of sums up imagination in the most sort of stereotypical yet really satisfying, whimsical way possible, and the book is just full of tons of information and other whimsical drawings and charts. So I thought I'd end on this one because, you know, you might be looking for a creative writing guide. I certainly do look for creative writing help every once in a while, so Wonder Book is a great option for that. That concludes my favorite covers video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know by leaving a like down below. If you want to see my least favorite covers or anything of a similar vein, do let me know down in the comments. I'd be happy to work on something like that for you. But for now, I am going to wrap this up. So don't forget you can click the subscribe button if you want to keep up with me and all of my bookish adventures, and you can always ring the little bell so that you don't miss a beat. I will see you guys next time. Bye!